This can't be real. This can't be real. This has to be a joke. This has to be some variation of a company pulling a prank. I refuse to believe that people invested money into this new Lord of the Rings game. I refuse to believe this. How can this be real? How can this be a thing? I don't get it. How? How did a company...
So there's a video that was put out. I guess it was yesterday. This
Oh
is
no.
a pretty new, exciting game. It's actually from
Oh no.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. This is
Oh
the new
no.
Lord of the Rings game, guys. You ready for it? Here we go.
Oh my god!
We
No!
love hobbits.
Oh my god!
The Shire
Oh!
wants to
Oh
know.
Jesus! I can't handle it. It's too much. It's too much at once. Oh my god! What is that? Oh my good god! Ah! Oh, you guys like the new Hobbits? You guys like that? Look at the new Hobbits. It's I I I have. Oh man, I got. Oh, whew. I got to imagine the I have to imagine the chairs in that boardroom. Uh, Probably smelled like fish for a couple weeks after they left. What? So so you have access to a game that has to do with Lord of the Rings, one of the most critically acclaimed book series of all time, one of the most successful and beloved. You have the ability to create a game, and you decide that the most important thing about this game is to remake the hobbits into this sort of image. Oh.
And with Tales of the Shire, we want to immerse you in their world. We just really
So, I just want to point something out. So far, we've seen whatever this is. We've seen this person. We've seen this person. We've not really seen a hobbit, have we? One of the defining characteristics of a hobbit is that they're white. Because a hobbit, from Tolkien's perspective, is basically meant to represent, good old-fashioned Britain. That sort of old-timey atmosphere. Something more pure, a more pure time. This is nightmare fuel. And it's because it's created by people who look like this. Let me just point this out for all of you who are wondering. If you see somebody that looks at this or looks like this, do not put them anywhere near your company, your HR. Do not put them in any position. I wouldn't even trust them to feed the animals. Nothing. There's nothing that this person is qualified to do. I can tell that immediately from a snap judgment. The way they look, the way they talk, those ridiculous glasses that look like they're, 3 sizes too big. Everything that this woman says and does, I know is immediately going to be wrong. I don't even have to know her. But you're putting her right in the midst of this. Look at it. I want you all to take a good look at what's on your screen. That is what they thought was Lord of the Rings. That's what we want to do. We want to play as racially ambiguous female hobbits.
We just really want Tales of the Shire to feel like a warm hug.
We found your next game. What I find to be so funny about this is the fact that this was released and nobody could reply to it.
Oh, of
Because
course.
usually
Of
people
course.
block replies after they get negative reception. And so if I look at the engagements, let's read how the internet has responded to this. Why are the hobbits Oh, that's why.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So, if you were to take the entire IQ and the entire quote unquote talent pool and the creativity pool and the originality index, if you were to take all these different factors from all of these different people, they wouldn't even amount to a fraction of the creativity and vision and experience of Tolkien. And yet these losers, these freaks, these degenerate bottom feeding, just otherwise irredeemable people that have never had a good or original idea to save their lives or careers, they're being put in charge of a franchise that they didn't help build, and they're absolutely shitting on it. They're taking a giant steaming dump.
Oh my god. Automatic skip, I don't have to see the game. I wonder why they locked the replies the moment I knew the game would fail. People are absolutely fucking roasting this game. Yeah, I think IGN will give it a 7 too. Oh, IGN has already talked about it.
Look at this picture. Even in this all too brief hands-on demo, it was clear that Tales of the Shire is shaping up to be exactly what it would be. A zero stakes, relaxing time spent in the Shire. Zero stakes. Well, I imagine that the company that invested in it was hoping to maybe get something out of it. I don't imagine that there's necessarily zero stakes in this. But I'm just gobsmacked by the fact that you have these people who are given access to these franchises, and instead of doing what they know the audience wants, they basically just make fan fiction, fan art for themselves. And then when it doesn't do well and it doesn't sell well and people hate it and they make fun of them, then they cry foul. It's like, who on earth wants to play as a hobbit, but more specifically as a female hobbit, a racially ambiguous female hobbit? Who on earth was clamoring for that? Now, if they just add in some same-sex romances and some mental disabilities, this game will be the peak woke experience for 2024. They want to try to outdo Concord with how fast this game is just completely obliterated in the marketplace of ideas. So, yeah, this is really quite shocking. I gotta be real, because you would think that eventually these people would learn the lesson that this doesn't work. No one's going to buy this. Nobody wants this. This is a terrible idea. You would think that IGN would learn. Hey, maybe trying to glaze the asshole of this game that is clearly not what people want, and clearly going to do poorly, and clearly not going to be well received. Maybe, basically sucking the farts out of this studio and the people who made it. Maybe that's going to reflect badly on our reputation and credibility. Maybe, just maybe.
Even in this all too brief hands-on demo, it's clear that Tales of the Shire is shaping up to be exactly what it would be, a zero-stakes, relaxing game spent in the Shire. Well, I'm sure the investors who have a lot of money riding on this really don't agree with that, especially the zero-stakes part. You take an IP like this and you dramatically change it, they're making their own game. I don't think people would really give a shit. Well, they would. They'd make fun of it, but it wouldn't be anything more like this.
But Asmongold, one of the things that is, I guess, refreshing about Asmongold is that he's able to pick up on this. And he's able to realize that these people aren't using Lord of the Rings or rather, they're not using their own original IPs and ideas because they know that nobody would play it. They're under the misconception that in order to get their ideas out, they have to mask it under something else. The way that they view gamers is the way that somebody might view their dog, which is, I have this pill to give you, but I can't just give it to you. I have to coat it in peanut butter. Well, the gaming community is smart enough at this point to spit the whole thing out, lick up the peanut butter, and leave your disgusting, blue pill on the floor. We don't want it. We don't need it. It's gross. And I got to tell you, who on earth are you thinking that you're going to win over with this? Well, no, this. Do you think this is going to entice people to play your game? I've never noped out of a game quicker than this right here. This abomination is nightmare fuel. I don't know what you were doing. I have to imagine that people like this probably secretly do things like this because they're afraid of black people, and so they want to make other people. I mean, look at this. This is a nightmare. It's absurd, ladies and gentlemen, but it's an all too consistent trend where you have these people who make these decisions that, I mean, I gotta laugh at it, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't really do anything. You're wasting time and money making something that is not going to do anything except for tarnish the reputation of something that's already going through a crisis. We need exceptional media. We need to bring back masculinity. I'm just going to say it, and it may be uncomfortable for some people to hear, but we need to get rid of women like this. We need to kick them out of the gaming industry. We need to kick them out of the studios. They shouldn't be welcome to continue to push their vision and their worldview onto games and IPs and franchises that they have no business doing it in. They didn't help to create Lord of the Rings. And because they're so arrogant, because they're so up their own ass, they think they're going to make the Shire a giant hug. We're going to make it feel like a warm hug. This is disgusting. It's offensive. It's ridiculous. It's an insult to Tolkien. These people are an absolute joke. I don't know why they are allowed to continue to degrade and degrade this once beloved franchise. I don't know why they continue to do it. The upper echelon of, EA or Ubisoft, these people should not be ideologically driven to the point where they ignore stuff like this. Even if it's an independent studio, even if it's just a bunch of people getting together, what on earth are they doing making something like this that has absolutely no chance? Why would you even bother? Why would you do it? You know that people aren't going to be invested in this. Do something that's going to work. Learn from Black Myth Wukong and learn from Space Marines 2. Space Marines 2 had a woman working behind the scenes that did look like this. She did look like this. And she espoused all the same stuff that this woman says. But either they fired her or they reduced her from senior writer to, toilet cleaner. Didn't listen to any of our ideas and essentially made a game that is wonderfully masculine. But I mean, this is just so transparent. Your worldview disgusts me. Your ideas are absolutely idiotic. You should be laughed at and mocked and embarrassed and ridiculed, as you are. Your entire team should be. Same with Concourse. So don't think this is me just picking on a couple girls. I saw Fireworks Studios' team, and there were a lot of beta males. There were a lot of estrogen-fueled men. They were part of that bad decision making. They didn't have the vision to do what's necessary to make a game that people actually wanted to play. So, yeah. Really embarrassing. Holy shit. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, I am genuinely sorry. There's nothing really you can say to make the taste of this any better. The only thing I would say is that while all of this stuff may make an appearance from time to time, I do believe that eventually we are going to return to a time where, basically sanity is restored and people are creating games that they know the audience wants to play.
From the spell. You have no power here, Gandalf the Grey. I will draw you, Saruman, as poison is drawn from a wound. If I go, Theoden dies. You did not kill me. You will not kill him. Rohan is mine. Be gone. I know your face.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be when you wake up from the mass woke delusion. You're like, wow, things suddenly start to make sense. What was I doing? Wow, that was insane. Lord of the Rings is such a phenomenal series. It's such a phenomenal movie. It's just sad when you have a bunch of grifters and losers and degenerates and bottom feeders and left-wing creeps. They come in and try to make it a communist hug box with ridiculous racially ambiguous characters that bastardize the concept of, the hobbits, which are not racially diverse. Sorry to burst your bubble. The emphasis was also not on them being women. I mean, there are female hobbits in Lord of the Rings, but that wasn't the focus. But it was here, because it's all about empowerment. These people are basically buzzwords. They are shallow thinkers. They are as empty inside as, as the rappers that once housed food that they shove into their gullet to fill the empty void. So, ladies and gentlemen, that game was embarrassing. You think they would learn their lesson, but they didn't. Lord of the Rings fans, sorry for this. Yet another massive disappointment. But anyway, that'll do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you watching.